After my thought-provoking conversation with Dr. Andrew Knight, I wanted to actually bring awareness to the audience through this video about the impact on our environment from the pet food industry. So let's deep dive into it. Most of us think about animal advocacy in terms of compassion. We talk about factory farming, climate change, and cruelty. But here's something very surprising. Our advocacy is still very human-centered. We focus on the food, what we eat, and how it affects our health or our ethics. But somewhere along the way, we forgot a big part of the picture: our companion animals. Think about it. The cats and dogs in our homes are also major consumers of meat. Their diets have an environmental footprint that's rarely talked about. Here are some numbers that might surprise you. Globally, food consumption breaks down to about 91% from humans, 7.7% from dogs, and 1.2% from cats. That seems small until you realize what that means in absolute terms. In the US alone, the dogs and cats are responsible for about 25 to 30% of environmental impact of animal-based food production. Yes, you heard that right. Almost a third of impact from meat production comes from pet food. And globally, if all humans, dogs, and cats shifted to vegan diets, research suggests we could spare around 7 billion land animals every year. That's more animals saved than there are people on Earth. Just dogs alone could save around 500 million animals. Now the question everyone asks, vegan pet food even healthy? Won't cats and dogs become sick without meat? The science gives us some clear answers. A large 2022 study showed dogs on well-formulated vegan diets had equal or many times better health outcomes compared to ones on conventional meat diets. They had fewer health disorders, took fewer medications, and even needed fewer vet visits. And more recently, a 2024 peer-reviewed synthesis looked at 10 different dog studies and 3 cat studies. And the conclusion is, when the diets are nutritionally complete, it is just as good or sometimes even better than the conventional meat-based diets. The key point is, it's not about whether the food is from meat or plants. It's about whether it is nutritionally complete. Animals, like us, need nutrients and not specific ingredients. If that nutrients is coming from plant-based sources, the health outcomes can be perfectly fine. So here is the real challenge for the animal advocacy movement. Are we only advocating for animals when it's convenient? If we focus only on human diets and ignore the impact of pet food, we are leaving a massive blind spot in the movement. True advocacy means recognizing all the lives impacted by our choices, and not just the ones fit neatly into our campaigns. So animal advocacy has to go beyond human-centered thinking. It means asking, how do we reduce harm in the food chain for everyone? How do we shift from convenience to compassion? And how do we make sure our values not only include farm animals, but billions of dogs and cats whose lives depends entirely on us, especially their food choices and knowing the environmental footprint and the animal cruelty associated with the pet food industry. It's time we stop treating our companion animals as side notes in this story. If our goal is compassion, then compassion must include all the animals and all the causes that are contributing for animal suffering. And maybe the real test of advocacy is whether we can expand our circle of care and compassion to fight against all the factors and not to be selective about our choices. Because at the end of the day, advocacy isn't about us, it's about them. If we have an option to choose more sustainable and compassionate food for our pets, why do we have to be thinking twice? So let us all be the change and make way for people to follow and be part of this movement.